little over a year ago, I threw out the question, what do you expect from the decade of the 20s? Well, I bet it wasn't this. It is finally winding down the end of a very long and frustrating year. And normally the last riding with James, I make it a short ride, and then I do the little year in review highlights over the year, some of my favorite moments. And let me give you something fresh and new, since I am going to actually upload this on Christmas Day. I'm going to go ahead and stick to my schedule. Thought about, maybe I should upload it a day early, or I'm just going to go ahead and go on as planned. But I thought, even as bad as this year has been, it's not like it was all bad. You look for those silver linings. So let me just look back over the year and just some of the good things. I'm not going to go into everything. Maybe more later, but just some of the good things that happened this year. For me personally, I'm in a much better position financially than I was a year ago. As some of you may remember, I hit some hard times last year, and I actually ended up officially shutting down my business at the beginning of this year, which sounds worse than what it is, because there's that feeling you don't want to shut it down, because it kind of feel like it would be a failure. But when I finally officially shut it down, I felt a little bit of a relief. And I don't think until I actually did say, okay, that's it, we're going to have to pull the plug on this, I realized that it had gone from being a passion to being a burden. And as it sits now, I'm not planning any cruises or anything, but I'm in a better position today. I can't talk any better than I did a year ago. Another thing, which I don't know if you'd really consider this a good thing, but I have learned that I can do without sports. I still like to, talk about the old Rangers and Nolan Ryan, Buddy Bell, and Jim Sundberg, and some of the other players around the league, Mike Schmidt, George Brett, for anybody that means anything to. But this year, you would think, especially being a baseball fan, and when all this started, it was right before the baseball season started, I don't miss it at all. I have not watched any Cowboys football this year. When they did start playing football, there was a guy at work who was watching. He's a big Chiefs fan, Kansas City Chiefs, and he was watching the game on his phone, and I stopped and kind of looked over, and I watched like literally 2 seconds. That's all the football. Well, that's not entirely true. I watched 2 seconds of live football. I stopped somewhere to get food one day, to pick up food, and they had the TV on in there, and they were showing highlights, and I just force of habit sat there and looked up at the TV. So I did watch a few highlights. I did listen to a little bit of Rangers baseball on the radio. Can't get through. Didn't get through the whole summer without hearing a little Eric Nadel play-by-play, which that was nice. Didn't watch any Rangers games on TV. Had no desire to go to a Rangers game. I do kind of miss going to these little colleges around here. But as far as professional sports, I kind of have a whole different attitude. It's just watching millionaires working to become bigger millionaires, and I just really not that interested anymore. So if you want to consider that a good thing, I've learned to live without sports. I made some good friends, and came across some good people here on YouTube over the last year. And I always hesitate to start listing people, because I know I'm going by memory here. I know I'm going to leave somebody out. Don't mean to leave anybody out, but just the ones that spring to mind automatically is Road Odyssey, I Want to Believe You, great channel out of the UK, AK Explorations, a lot of great channels that I've come across over the last year. And also, we have a tendency and it's something I've brought up before, and something we should bring up a little more often, is we have a tendency here on the bottom of YouTube to talk about other channels that put out content, but there's some of the folks out there that they're just viewers. They just come to watch. And I know I'm going to say this wrong. I'm going to give it a shot. Elvis Nopserton. I hope I said that something somewhere close. Left me a really nice comments recently and over the last couple of months, and like I say, that's someone that doesn't put out any content. They just come to watch, and it's very much appreciated. And just kind of a thank you to all of the people that just come to watch. That's something we should really point out more often, I think, down here on our little dirty, dusty corner of YouTube. Another nice thing, I won something from It Starts With a Step. I won a drawing, and where's that card? I gotta have that card. Okay, there it is. Sent me a little something. She made a trip to Egypt recently. Or, well, I say recently. Not exactly sure when they made that trip, but they got some oils, and she had a giveaway. Some oils and scents that she got from Egypt, and actually won some of those. I tell you, one's Secret of the Desert. It's well, they call it a perfume, but it's for men or women. Maybe they don't have the word cologne in Egypt. I don't really know. I've actually worn that a couple of times. It's this is pretty cool. It's fermented in the pyramids for 85 days, and the scent changes every 30 minutes. So I've actually used that one a couple of times. There's also a perfume that was used by Queen Nefertiti, which I'm assuming it's the same kind of perfume used by Queen. That's not actually from her collection. And then there's also an oil that's has healing properties for the skin, and then a frankincense, which is good for sinuses and snoring. I'm hoping to get sick soon, so I can use some of that. That was really nice. I never win anything. Even when I do win something, it seems like I never get it. So that was nice to get that here a while back. So I came out a big winner in 2020. And usually I do lists of 5. Had a little trouble coming up with five good things for 2020, but it finally dawned on me, well, yeah, actually there is a 5th thing. I finally did hit 1,200 subs. As I'm putting this together, I'm actually at 1,204. Bounced, as I said last month, I bounced back and forth for over 2 months between 1193 and 1,200. And every time I'd hit 1,200, I just fall right back down. So hopefully it'll stick this time. So officially make that announcement. Even though it was the 7th time that I hit it, I'm going to go ahead and call it and say, okay, we're at 1,200 subs. I hit 1,000 just right at the tail end of last year, and now 1,200 at the tail end of this year, so that's a good thing. But we'll celebrate that 1,200 subs. Before I close it out, I want to thank some people that made this year, that have made this year and made the struggles on the bottom of YouTube a little easier. So if I can just kind of generally thank a few people. Of course, What's Paranormal, that's been very helpful ever since I decided to start doing this, and been figuring out what exactly it is I am doing. But anyway, thanks to Amy and Laney and Cody, they've made a lot of things much more bearable. Not just this year, but as I said, since I started whatever it is I'm doing here. The Steel one has given me some really nice shout outs and built me up far beyond anything I could ever live up to. Corkboard TV gave me a really nice feature on his channel. And then, as I mentioned before, the folks that have just supported the channel ever since I started, Mary and Jenny and Shayna and Danny and Sherry and Brandon, and again, I go back to I shouldn't start naming people because I'm going to leave people out, but just everybody that has supported the channel over the years as I've stumbled through it. Thanks to Lindsley Register. I need to thank her. Well, I guess technically what she did was actually in 2019, but it was for something that didn't happen until 2020. She did gave me a That's a Wrap on the 20th YouTube suggestions. And as a matter of fact, this is something that I could just take this is all I needed for 2020. James. I could just take that and loop it, and I'd be happy. James. There you go. And for those of you that don't know, that's Lindsley Register from The Walking Dead. She played Laura on The Walking Dead. Gave me the That's a Wrap on YouTube, the 20th YouTube suggestions. And if you're on Amazon, go check out her movie Scorn. It's a movie that she produced herself, funded it herself. So go check that out. Give her a little plug there. Not sponsored, but it could be. And then finally, last but most certainly not least, the old saying, you save the best for last. Thank you to Justine Stafford, and she knows why. Again, thanks to everybody who has come to the channel and watched over the course of this year, over the course of the last 3.5 years. Hopefully I've given you something every now and then that either has entertained you or has informed you or has just killed 10 minutes or so, if nothing else. So, thanks for watching, and again, we've hit 1,200 subs, and so to end it, I'll put a little something together to mark that 1,200 subscribers, and it is the perfect thing to be the last images, the last sounds of the year 2020. If you have not already, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, not necessarily in that order, and I will see you next time. Bring on 2021. Let's make it an official abandoned place. Toilet. There's the toilet that was in the middle of the floor. All things considered, that may be the cleanest. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure I want to know. There's her toilet. Toilet. Oh, no, I don't get. Ugh.
It's a toilet.
That's a nasty toilet. Oh wow, an outhouse. Couple of them. Bathroom there. Toilet. Was there a toilet in there? Toilet. A bird's nest. Toilet. Bird's nest. Toilet. Oh, no bird's nest. Toilet. Ooh. Nasty toilet. I do believe I'll just leave that a mystery as to what's in that bag. I guess this was a different class. Well, there's a blue toilet. Oh, there's a sink. A toilet. We had to have a toilet. It's not an official abandoned, it ain't got a toilet.